Hello everybody, so I'm going to do a video on this, which is one of the things Beastoree sent me, and it's kind of like the equivalent of a Gorka suit, I think. So I'll show you the labels inside because I wasn't able to get loads of information about this. But obviously it's summer in the UK at the moment, quite warm, and this is a cold weather suit, and it seems to be a really good cold weather suit, but obviously the problem is, due to it being summer, you can burn up in one of these fairly easily. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the suit, and put it on. If ever I get my hands on what's like the equivalent of a summer style Gorka suit, that would be really good, as they're meant to be very comfortable and breathable, people were telling me. But obviously this is not an official Gorka suit, but it seems to be very similar from what I can find out. So there's both trousers and the top half of this, and I don't know if it's waterproof or not, so I'll give that a quick test during this video. But it's certainly warm, but obviously this is mostly intended for cold weather, not necessarily wet weather, but we'll find out. So it's fairly heavy as well, as you'd expect. That's just because of all the lining on it. So I'm just trying to do this obviously with one hand, get the zip undoing, because I put it on a hanger to save space. So let's see if I can, there we go. So as you can see, that's the top section. We'll put that down on the floor for a moment. This is the bottom section. So this is in a sort of digital camouflage pattern. I quite like this pattern because it's sort of grey and green. This isn't the same colour as American ACU camo, in case you're wondering that. Obviously this is much more efficient. So I'll show you the label inside, so those of you that might know a bit more about the company might be able to tell me. Although this is printed in a camo pattern like this, this doesn't have any infrared reflectiveness abilities, so it's quite obvious under an IR light, because obviously this isn't a military thing. I assume this is made by a private company, and they've just done it in a military camo pattern. I won't be able to get the IR camera out today to show it you, but I can probably demonstrate that at another point, probably more in the winter wear. So the company is called, I guess, Listonz. There's their label. And I'm not sure if they're a Polish or a Ukrainian company or whatever, but the quality of this is very good. So obviously you always hold it up so you can see it all on there. These are the trousers. So I'll step into these, and these have got suspenders, or braces basically. So what you do is you put these on, then once you've got these on, you put the top half on. Oh, there's a zip down the front that made them a bit easier to get my leg into, so I'll just undo that for the moment. So it's all got this quilted material on the inside. So I'll just pull that up. I'm just wearing a bit of shorts at the moment. As I said, it's actually warm weather, so then when I zip that up, it comes to just about here, a bit like fishing waders. So now let's get the back bit over. We're always awful at doing these suspendery kind of things. Braces up. So there we go. Let's do the front one first. I already adjusted these to be roughly my sort of height. Right, so there we go. So you won't be able to see it too well with the camera obviously, but this is up to my legs. Now I'll just tuck the bottoms in properly, because what happens is as you put them on it tends to ride up the inside, but that's back in properly now. So now let's put the top half on, and I'm already getting really hot just from having these trousers on, so now I'll do the top part. This has got both interior and exterior pockets, by the way. Now I'm already overheating without even zipping this up, just because of how efficient this is as a cold weather type thing. But obviously you can see the inside is all like this quilted filled material. It's very soft and comfortable, don't get me wrong, but as I said, this is like an extreme cold weather kind of suit, not a thing. So there you go, let's do the Velcro up over the mouth. So if you wanted to, you could have this up like that. And of course you've got the hood you can seal up. Then you've got your sort of, so you can either have your head up like that in it, I guess, or you can have your sort of face down in it a bit more, depending on, I'll do that for the video so you can actually hear me. And of course you've got your little drawstring type things for tightening the hood. So let's tighten that on one side. There we go. Then tighten that back up. It's always difficult to try and do these when you're not that familiar with the jacket. But, so let's pull that and do the same for this one. This is uncomfortably warm now because of just how well it works. So there you go. So obviously you could have a balaclava on or whatever underneath there. So let me just pan the camera down so you can see the entire suit. There you go. So, like I said, this isn't actually American ACU. It kind of looks a bit like that. Sorry, UCP camo. It's not that camo pattern, but it looks fairly similar. This is a lot more green than UCP is, but I don't know how well that comes across in the lighting and the thing. I do like the digital pattern on this because there's black on it, but there's not that much black, so I think that would actually do its job of kind of looking like shadow or breaking up the object rather than being, you know, like I've complained about on loads of camos where they just put massive black splodges everywhere that make you too obvious. But yeah, this is actually very warm and comfortable. Now, it's not comfortable at the moment because of how warm the weather is anyway, and I'm already boiling in this, but if you know how warm you can get in an NBC suit, imagine that, but even more extreme. That gives you some idea of how warm this is. But as I said, you could wear obviously a cold weather mask or a balaclava or whatever on underneath this as well, underneath the hood. I assume this hood would work fine with a gas mask. I'll just quickly put one on to test it because I know otherwise I'll be asked for that. But as I said, although this has got a camo pattern on it, it doesn't have any infrared capabilities. So let me just get a gas mask to test if you can put it on with a gas mask, which I'm sure you can because it's a hood. And then what I'll do is, once I've done that, I'll just quickly put my arm under a bit of water and see if it's waterproof. I don't know if it is or not, because I assume this is for really cold weather use, not rain use, so we'll check that. Okay, so I've got the Israeli M15 mask on. Let's put the hood over, and then let's do this. Up. Then pull this bit back over the eyes. And yeah, looks like you can wear it alright with a gas mask if that's what you wanted to do. But as said, I don't think this is designed to offer any sort of NBC protection at all. It's simply a cold weather suit. But for those of you interested, yeah, you can actually wear this with a gas mask. So what I'm just going to do now is show you if it's waterproof or not. Now, I'm not suspecting it will be waterproof, because as I said, I'm pretty sure this is for just extreme cold weather use, and I'm sure you know this, but if you're in somewhere that's freezing, you're only likely to get snow or maybe hail. You're not going to get rain. So for that reason, I doubt it's all that waterproof, but we'll give it a quick check and see anyway. Right, there you go. There you can see the sink. So I'm just going to put the hot tap on and get this wet. Oh, I tell a lie, this is actually waterproof. I've got a bit of water on my hand from putting it under there. Don't know how you can see that, but you can see that the water's sort of sitting on there. Well, I wouldn't say waterproof, but I'd say this is highly water resistant. So I think this will be, you know, where if enough water sits on it for long enough, I think that water would soak through. But I think for casual rain use, especially if you then went to cover, I think this would keep you dry. So that's better than I was expecting, to be honest. I was really expecting this to be, you know, more like a sort of really cold weather thing, but not much rain resistance. Hopefully you can see under the natural lighting without the ceiling light being on, this looks far more green. It looks kind of like a multicam type thing, because this is all green here, sort of darkish green here, light green grey there, sort of a lighter paler greeny yellow there, like a cream colour, not quite white, and then there's the black. So this seems quite a good camo pattern. I don't know if it's actually based on a specific camo pattern or it's just one they came up with. As I said though, this doesn't really have any infrared capabilities because I'm assuming it's made by a company that makes like hunting camos and cold weather gear. And an interesting note somebody said to me in the comments, and I'm sorry I can't remember who it was, they were saying hunting camos are not designed to you know, hide you under infrared signatures, because of the fact that if a rescue team needs to find you, that would be a problem if you weren't visible. The same reason, you know, you're meant to wear fluorescent jackets if you're hunting in lots of places in the US, so other people don't accidentally shoot you or can find you. You know, because this is the funny thing where all the people get super obsessed over hunting camos, but lots of animals can't even see you in the same way the human eye sees things. So a lot of the camo patterns are completely useless for, you know, stopping the animal seeing you. What you actually need to do is, you know, make sure you don't give off any strong smells or movements that will give you away. Because most camo patterns are even when it comes to an animal, because they don't see, you know, in the same colour patterns we see. But there you go, the water hasn't soaked through, so that has impressed me. This has obviously got a waterproof capability to it that I wasn't expecting. There's a breast pocket here which looks quite useful, so you could store something in there. There's one on the other side as well. So again, similar pocket. As I said, there's some internal pockets as well on this. There's sort of trouser pockets on these trousers there as well. So there you go. You're probably wondering why the hell I'm doing this in the bathroom now, but there you go. So this was sent to me by Beastoree. It seems to be a really good thing for cold weather. Ideally at some point I'd like to try and get one of these, but for like warm weather use, like the warm weather Gorka suits the Russians have. As I said, this isn't a Gorka suit, but seems to be very similar to it, almost like a clone of a Gorka suit, the winter ones. Where basically I'd want, you know, one where it's like a really breathable material, but, you know, in a full sort of two-part suit, which apparently some of the Russian summer ones were. Some of my viewers from Eastern Europe were telling me. So there we go. Link as always will be to Beastore's eBay page in the description. As said, he has the Polish FP5 filters, which is probably the one of the coolest things he's got in stock, which lots of people ask for. But if not as well, he's got lots of the old communist stuff, pistol holsters, whatever else, clothing. The gas mask test kit, the one I wasn't able to really demonstrate properly, but if you're into that retro stuff you might like it, Geiger counters, whatever. So he sent this for me, to me for free, so a big thank you to him for that. So I said, because I've had it for free, you know, just to let you know, obviously, I'm sort of plugging him as well, but he says, you know, I don't have to do that, but I always like to announce when I've had something for free, because, you know, it's going to change my opinion on it slightly when I'm reviewing it, because obviously I've not put money into it, so I'm not expecting so much back from it, but this is very good. I don't know if he has this exact suit for sale, but lots of suits I think like this he has are £75. Now that seems like a lot of money, but for, you know, wearing this, I would say if I wanted something for extreme cold, this would be amazing for that. Especially because obviously you could wear the jacket and trousers separately, you don't have to wear them both at once. But I'm looking forward to actually being able to wear this when winter comes around, because I think when I'm outside and volunteering, this jacket, you know, on top of a t-shirt would actually be fine for -5 sort of weathers with strong winds. So there you go, that's the review of this thing. It's actually very good.